I was not the bullet. I was not the gun. I was not the juror that set the shooter free. I was not the trigger. I was not the hate. Nor was I the judge. But still, you judge me? I was not the black family mourning for the death. Ooh, somebody shot our children. Lord, what we do now?
So this is how World War Zimmerman starts. During the school day, Eric Cartman, for some reason, is awkwardly attempting to compliment and converse with Tolkien Black. Stan, Kyle, and Kenny, of course, are dumbfounded, and Kyle asks, is he doing it again? As the conversation ends, Cartman asks Tolkien for a fist bump, which Tolkien reluctantly gives. So they're starting off the episode satirizing, of course, Cartman's fear of black people in this case. He's afraid of Tolkien or afraid of what Tolkien's going to do. So he's trying to butter him up and be friends. Fist bump, Tolkien? Are we cool? Fist bump, Tolkien's that matters. Fist bump. From there, during class, Mr. Garrison teaches. Cartman has fallen asleep once again. He's continuing to fall asleep, and he has these nightmares about him being Brad Pitt in World War Z and World War Zimmerman. However, he disrupts the class by shouting out loudly about Tolkien. Brad Pitt.
Don't eat my brains, Tolkien. Don't eat my brains.
Don't eat my brains. That's my family, Tolkien. That's my family.
I just love in the beginning here, the kids are already like, everyone else is very like suspect of why Cartman is like being so nice. They're like, "What's up? What do you have up your sleeve today, like Cartman? What the hell is going on here?"
That's true. So yeah, of course, if you're first time listening to the podcast, if you've never watched, we always like to integrate clips, video clips, audio clips. If you're listening on the pod, usually we do in about 20 and 30-second intervals. We stop between and have conversations, of course, to avoid copyright. So here's the start of the episode with the boys in class. Cartman walking up to Tolkien here.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Nothing. Nothing. Me neither. Nothing's going on. Sucks.
This is like the prototypical white guy trying to be friends with somebody cool at school. Like, hey, what's up, man? You can be cool, be friends. I want to be your best friend.
Yeah, so about that basketball game last night.
Did you catch the Nuggets, right?
Anything good with you? Yeah. Sweet. Hey, Jimmy, what are you doing? I'm just getting ready. Yeah, I'm just hanging out with Token. Did you know if it wasn't for African Americans, we wouldn't have rock and roll? So cool that we have a black president. It's about time.
About time.
Is he doing it again? He's doing it again. Dude, what are you doing after school, Token? You wanna hang out?
So of course, what the boys are referring to is he doing it again? Yes, he's doing it again. He's being racist. That's what Cartman does here in the show. He doesn't have a conscience. And Cartman only does what he feels will benefit him. Yeah, so continuing on here. Oops, wrong button.
Have band practice. God, you're so cool. All right, bro, I'll catch you at recess.
Fist bump. Fist bump, bro.
Fist bump, bro. Cartman, are you feeling all right? Yeah, I feel great. Why? You think something's wrong?
All right,
Just the way he looks right at the camera. Like, if this was a live show and he's breaking the fourth wall like that, like, why? Why do you think? Is there something wrong? Do you think I'm up to something? Like, it's just so great.
Very menacing, for sure. Like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with me. I don't understand. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Just fine. Back in class now, as I mentioned, Mr. Garrison is teaching. Of course, we always like to point out what Mr. Garrison is teaching. It looks like he's actually teaching something educational this time, but you would think that, but no, he's talking about a movie because as it looks like he's referencing Hugh Jackman here. He starts out with the French Revolution.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Is that a movie? Is that the French Revolution movie or something?
I will look up Hugh Jackman.
Anne Hathaway. Let's take that.
Les Mis, maybe.
Oh,
they were in Les Mis back in 2012.
That would make sense why he's referencing a movie, because that's what Mr. Garrison does. He never actually teaches real education. Everything is based on pop culture, television, and movies, as we've heard before in the past. So bippity boppity boo. We explained all that. Yeah. So here's Mr. Garrison now, and Cartman is going to be having a nightmare.
Revolution was basically started by a young man named Marius, who only knew Jean Valjean as an older man. The French government at the time was led by Javert, who was trying to...
No, stop! Token, stop! My brains! Stop eating my brains! Brad Pitt! Ah! Hey, Token. What's up, bro? Fist bump?
Fist bump? Fist bump here?
His bump. His bump. I just when I first heard the Garrison thing, I was like, is he like putting this into some gay? Like he's got to be talking about something gay because it's Mr. Garrison. He's like always like he didn't know him until he was an older man, or like just always something with him. Mr. Garrison's also such a great character and a
Oh,
great teacher for these
he's
kids.
a great teacher. He's a good representation of the
Great
education
teacher.
system for sure. At
Way
the
better than Miss Chokes on Dick.
way better. Way better.
Way better.
At the guidance office now, guidance counselor office, Mr. Mackey gives Cartman a lecture and says this feud between Cartman and Tolkien must stop. Cartman tells Mackey that something which happened a long time ago is pissing Tolkien off, and he blames Cartman. Mr. Mackey is eventually able to talk to Cartman into dropping it. And then that night at the Cartman residence, Cartman has a nightmare again. In his dream, he takes the role of Brad Pitt's character, Jerry, from World War Z. He has a wife and 2 daughters. And as they eat breakfast, CNN reports that a verdict is due soon in the Trayvon Martin murder case, and Jerry and his wife proceed to take their kids to school. So this turns into like a montage from that movie. Later in the scene, they realize there's tons of traffic, and after listening to It's a Beautiful Day, a bulletin announces that George Zimmerman has been acquitted, and suddenly all the black citizens become enraged and begin attacking everyone, including Jerry and his family. They escape, climb up the building, only to have the black citizens climb up there as well. They encounter Tolkien on the rooftops as he lunges at Jerry, and Cartman then awakes from his terrible nightmare. Even in his dreams, Cartman is racist. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so hilarious.
Here's Cartman in the counselor's office.
Ticking time bomb.
Why do you think Token is a ticking time bomb?
He's pissed off because of something that happened a long time ago, but he won't forget.
You think he blames you for something?
But it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Well, have you thought about maybe writing your feelings down in a poem? Write a poem and give that to Token?
No, it's too gay. It would only make things worse.
Well, Eric, you need to do...
It's too gay.
Too gay. Writing my emotions out on a piece of paper, too gay, Mr. Garrison. Okay.
I'm not going to fucking tell Tolkien how I feel. If I tell him how I feel, then he'll be able to capitalize on my feelings. No, I'm not doing that. God, what are you thinking, Mr. Mack? Okay.
Okay. Just write a poem, okay?
Pretty good.
Do something because you keep losing sleep. Okay, and sleep is very important to your success at school. Okay?
Okay. I'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, you sure? Because I'm here if you need me.
I love this part.
Okay.
Okay.
He's got the kids doing it now. Like, they're responding back. Okay.
Right? Cartman being that manipulative guy using the exact lingo that Mackey uses as well to identify with him. Here's Cartman now as he has his nightmare. Cartman now rustling around in bed.
Leave Brad Pitt alone.
Leave Brad Pitt alone.
Brad Pitt fighting zombies. Yeah, Token. Eat your breakfast, girls. Where's Daddy? You can eat without your father in the room now.
You gotta love how there's one normal kid, and then there's always the kid that looks just like Cartman.
Right?
Whenever he has these dreams of being with people.
And I just like that it's all done in his voice to you. Daddy, I want to talk to Daddy.
Hurry. Daddy. Good morning, Cass. Stay.
Cartman with hair and a beard. It's in his small little form. It's funny. Cartman never grows up. Apparently, that's the size he's gonna stay. I mean, I know we've seen the COVID specials where he does grow up and become a Jewish man, and then of course a homeless person. But you know, I always found these to be comical when they age the characters, but never like turn them into adults. They just put adult features. They just put adult features on them. You know, he's never gonna get taller or become a full blown adult.
Hey, Dad, any pancakes? Look at that. 6 a.m. and my family is already smiling. How did I get such a perfect husband? How did I get such a beautiful wife? I love you, Dad. Love you too, Princess. I love both of you equally.
I love you, Dad.
So long as we all have each other. Today apparently will be the day. CNN has just received word that a verdict in the George Zimmerman trial is expected to come at any moment.
So of course, we'll get into this more when we talk more of the pop culture and the trivia section of the podcast. But at the time this was going out, this individual, George Zimmerman, was under scrutiny for killing a black kid, a black man, Trayvon Martin. So that is, of course, what South Park is referring to. And I've got the guy, I believe, Colin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He actually did get off, like he didn't get charged with anything, right? I think it was.
Yeah, he was found innocent.
Yeah, he was found innocent. Like it was self-defense or whatever it was. But yeah, he was found innocent, which of course, just adds to the crazy history of American crime, where individuals kill people and they are not charged. So that is, of course, what.
But and I know you said we'll get to this later on in the
Sure.
trivia pop culture aspects of it, but they always kind of play this when there is kind of a black on white issue in the court system. I don't know if you remember the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yeah.
We actually watched the verdict in my sixth grade class. Like they wheeled the TV in on the thing, and my teacher turned it on, and we watched them basically say like, "He's innocent, he's acquitted of all charges," because there was that feeling there that white people and black people were going to clash over the O.J. Simpson stuff, even back in the 90s. So like, there's always this shroud and this cover when any of this type of stuff happens. So like, it's very easy for them to target and manipulate over something like that.
That's fair. That's a good point, Colin. They're looking for constant cases or events to potentially divide the American people for whatever reason, whether it be politics, religion, money. There's always something they're looking to put out there to, quote, distract us from what's really going on. So they use, not that this case shouldn't be at the forefront, right? And people shouldn't be paying attention to it and reacting to it, but it definitely shouldn't then dictate your life to a point where you're like, I hate this person because I disagree with it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, that person agrees with you or that person disagrees with you, but, we all have our own thoughts and thought processes and morals and how we reflect on how things. So, but yeah, it's definitely set up, as you pointed out, in the media to potentially create some contentious bias from either party.
Zimmerman is accused of shooting Trayvon Martin, and a jury will now decide his fate. Daddy, who is Trayvon Martin? Nobody. Let's just get you girls to school.
Ski.
You gotta like the detail that they put into this, because from further away, you could only see his beard.
Yeah.
But when they zoomed in on him, you can see the stubble and everything else.
Yeah.
Just great craftsmanship from these guys.
I like the big city scenes here. These are one of the very few and far times we see South Park in like a New York metropolitan type city, if you will, or Miami, if you will. I think that's where Zimmerman was at, right? Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah, so I like the whole animation here of the downtown scene.
Is it bigger than a bread box? What's a bread box, Dad? That is so cute. You can say that again. Why aren't we moving? What's going on? Hey, it's a beautiful day and I can't stop myself from smiling. We interrupt this cool song for a news bulletin. A verdict has just been handed down in the case of George Zimmerman. In a shocking turn of events, the jury has found Zimmerman not guilty.
And then look at Cartman's face. No.
It's a ticking time bomb.
It's a ticking time bomb. No.
Oh my God. Many African Americans are outraged by the verdict, and they are most likely about to go totally nanas. Fuck you, Brad Pitt.
So Cartman.
Fuck you, Brad Pitt.
So Cartman now is going to start ramming his way through all the protesters because he feels like, of course, him and his family are being attacked in this dream.
Everyone get out of the car, go!
As I mentioned, they start running up the top of this building. The black citizens are forming a chain
Just
as
like
they're
World War Z.
Yeah, they're climbing the wall like zombies.
Oh my God, run!
And then Token.
Token! No! Token, we had nothing to do with it! I know you're pissed off, Token, but be reasonable! Fuck you, Brad Pitt! No! No, no, no! No!
Fuck
Cartman.
you, Brad Pitt.
Cartman wakes up in a sweat, if you will. All right, so now, next day at school, sleep-deprived Cartman tries to be nice to Tolkien once more. This time, however, Tolkien kind of, hurries away, doesn't buy it. Back in class, Cartman is having a nightmare screaming Tolkien's name. This leads to Mr. Mackey, who is now angry that the feud is still going on. Tolkien is called in so Cartman can tell him what he needs to tell him. Cartman tells Tolkien that he was not in the jury, but Tolkien has no clue what he's talking about. Cartman reads the poem entitled I Was Not the Bullet and explains that Cartman is not to blame for the Trayvon Martin case and that Tolkien should not blame him or take revenge. Again, Tolkien has no idea what the hell's going on here as he gets into this. Like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. All right, Cartman now walking up.
Poor Tolkien.
Yeah, Cartman now walking up to Tolkien here as he's sleep deprived.
Tolkien, how you doing?
I'm good.
That's awesome. I'm so stoked that we're best friends. Fist bump. Fist bump. Ah! My wife, Tolkien! Tolkien, that's my wife!
Okay, really?
No, Tolkien! Stop beating my daughter! No!
Matt's over here dying.
Oh, it's a combination of laughter and the allergies here in the good old Northeast. But yes. Yes, Cartman and Tolkien there. Come on, seriously. All right, as I mentioned, Cartman back in Mr. Mackey's office again.
Now, Eric, whatever it is you and Token are going through, you need to talk through it, okay? The problems you two are having have become a distraction for everybody else. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, Token, come on in, please.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right.
You just gotta love how like and throughout this whole episode you see this where like Cartman's world, the way he views it and everything is so twisted, but everything is so normal. Like with like there's certain scenes down the road where just everything's just normal, but Cartman's got like himself and then whoever's around him that believes him just believe in all whatever, and he just thinks that there's this huge existential crisis that's going on, and Token's just living his life. Like, come on, bro, like what is going on here?
As they continue now.
Token, I've been talking with Eric, and he's really upset that you two aren't getting along. You have some things you want to say, Eric?
Token, I wasn't on that jury, okay?
What jury?
This grudge that you're holding against an entire group of people should be directed at just a few, not at me.
Okay, Token, what are your feelings about that?
I don't know what to say.
Like, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what to say. Like, what?
I wasn't on that jury, okay?
Token's like, okay, right, great.
I wrote a poem. Is it okay if I read my poem?
Now he writes the poem, by the way, from the last day, Poems Are Gay. He's come around. He's wrote the poem. And, of course, as I mentioned, it's called I Was Not the Bullet.
It's called I Was Not the Bullet. I was not the bullet. I was not the gun. I was not the juror that set the shooter free. I was not the trigger. I was not the hate. Nor was I the judge. But still, you judge me? I was not the black family mourning for the death. Ooh, somebody shot our children. Lord, what we do now?
Good old racist Cartman fashion. He does the southern black voice. The Civil War era. What you think Robert E. Lee sounds like when he's talking voice?
I ask Dane this every now and then because, Dane lives in Atlanta. So let me get your perspective, because you live in the southern part of the country as well. Do you still encounter anybody that may talk like this in your day-to-day life?
No.
No? Okay.
No, that you might find that in like Louisiana, like deep South Louisiana, people that like live in the swamps that still kind of like have that Gator Bayou-ish talk. But I think a lot of that kind of went out the window. I mean, you might find it in some like really backwood areas in the South, but
Right.
you're probably not going to find it in Atlanta. You're not going to find it too much where I live. But like maybe Alabama, Louisiana, certain parts of Florida, maybe.
Tennessee?
But
I don't know.
I think that died out. But there were a lot of people too that would would tell you that the English that came over from Great Britain and the way that you would think that Southern Confederates talk, like how Cartman just talked,
Yeah,
that's actually a lot close. Their etymology and everything is closer than the actual English and our tone and our accent that we speak now.
that's interesting. That's interesting. So you're basically saying that like how they spoke or at that time was more was relatable to the etymology and how they spoke in Britain, or if you will.
Yeah, yeah. The way, like, I guess the natural progression of how like your accents and things change. That very Southern, like proper Robert E. Lee type Confederate speak is actually more closely related to the English the proper English that they speak over there in Great Britain compared to the Americanized English that we speak today.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Well, I've never been to Britain, but if I ever go one day, I'll let you know if that's if that's the case, Colin. Continuing on here with the rest of Cartman's poem as he finishes it.
And I was not the verdict.
This isn't a poem. It doesn't even rhyme.
It's going to rhyme, Token. Just hold on. I was not the shooter. I was not the gun. So, Token, you should be cool while we're all here at SKU.
It's you. Yeah, there you go.
It finally rhymed.
Can I go back to
Finally,
class
now it's
now?
poem. It's
Eric,
officially
do
a
you
poem.
feel better about all this?
Yeah, I do. I think we really had a breakthrough here.
Okay, thanks, Token.
Token didn't do nothing. He just showed up,
Token's like, "Well, okay, yeah, sure."
had to hear some poem Cartman tells him, and then he leaves.
It's gonna be okay. I think we're all safe
Like,
I think we're
I
all
think Token
safe
just
now.
is like, look, can he just stop having dreams and bringing me up in these dreams? Like that's my beef with him right now. It's just stop talking about me eating your kids and your wife.
Well, this unfortunately does not stop him because now at the school assembly, after the cheerleaders are doing their cheer thing, Butters is while Butters beatboxes, Cartman starts rapping a different form of "I was not the bullet." This enrages Tolkien, who shouts at Cartman. This makes Cartman believe the apocalypse has started, and he runs home. He grabs his handgun. He dresses up like Jerry. He runs out into the street, warning everyone there's an outbreak. He stops Nellie's mom, who is driving a Tesla, and makes her drive him to the airport. At the airport, Cartman runs onto a plane, hurrying people inside, and then tells the pilot to take off. At the control
My wife's still back. My wife's not on the plane.
Your wife's already dead. At the control tower, traffic controllers are trying to figure out why the plane took off without permission. One worker alerts his boss of a survival guide discovered in the airport bathroom made by Cartman, depicting the apocalypse, which sends everyone into a panic. Cartman explains to the airline passengers an outbreak has started. They need to go to Iceland. Realizing the plane won't make it, Cartman heads to the bathroom to think. Inside, finds a black man finishing up. Scared, he blocks the door and tells everyone that one of them is in the bathroom. One passenger, scared to become a zombie, opens the emergency exit and flies out as everyone is holding on for dear life. The black passenger gets out of the bathroom and the flight attendant tries to shoot him. The black man ducks, causing the bullet to ricochet and ignite an explosion. So if you've been following along, go ahead.
You gotta like the part too when he first gets on and he's like, "There's an outbreak," and they're like, "Which one?" They're like, not even. They're like, "What outbreak? What contagion? What's going on?"
And if you've been following along on the podcast, we have been joking, about making a list or doing some sort of a review in the future on who has the biggest body count for kills. This episode is what sets Cartman apart. Yeah, this is the episode that propels him into another stratosphere with all the people he's going to kill.
Cartman is the most prolific mass murderer in all of South Park.
Yes, he is. So here, let's go to Cartman's rap now at the school assembly.
We are cows, proud and true. Come on, South Park, moo, moo, moo. Go cows!
Okay, thank you, cheerleaders. That was very nice. Next, we have a student who would like to perform an original rap song based on his award-winning poem.
It's been out for less than a few hours, and it's an award-winning poem. He won the Maya Angelou Award for writing poems.
That's it. He's won the I don't know. I'm trying who was the guy who wrote Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer.
Mark Twain.
He got a Mark Twain award. That's what he got just now for that poem, just right off the bat. So here's Cartman with the rap.
I Was Not the Bullet, with backup music by Butters Stotch.
Black or white, it's alright. Black or white, that's not right.
Why is he dressed like John Cena?
He is kind of dressed like John Cena, isn't he? Does he look like he has that?
You know,
Does Cartman look like he
I
has
wasn't
that? I was going to say, does Cartman look like he has that McDonald's shirt with the girl's legs opening?
I don't know. I don't know. It looks like it's some kind of weird sports shirt, but that was
Oh,
that
you're
was
right. Okay.
it's a Denver Nuggets. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Nuggets, the Mountains. I could never get into John Cena because I just didn't like how he was appropriating black culture when he first came into the WWE. I was just like, I grew up with a lot of white kids that acted like that, and I'm like, this is the last thing that I want to see right now is this on my television. Like, I don't want to support John Cena in any of this.
You
But
didn't,
apparently that was the best version of John Cena that everybody loved.
you didn't like
I
John.
just didn't.
You didn't like John Cena ripping off Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted.
No, was not a fan. Was not a fan of that at all.
Y'all got guns, make me
But
want to
you
run.
gotta you
I
gotta
ain't having
love
no
though
fun.
how Butters always gets caught up in all of Cartman's stuff no matter what. Like Butters just can't he's like, yeah, sure, He's just so wholesome and innocent that he just wants to help out with everyone. And he's like, yeah, sure, Cartman, I'll help you with your song. And he's like, I'll beatbox, like he's like that's what makes Butters so special. Is just he's got that childhood innocence that no one else on this show has, because they're all corrupted in some type of way except for Butters. He is still that believes in the best in everyone, just that childhood innocence, and yeah.
Agreed, 100%. Definitely, Butters is one of those individuals that not only believes in the best of everyone, but as we've talked about in this podcast before, he has been one of the few people to fight back and take down Cartman and kind of get him in an I got you. So there's kind of like this weird relationship dynamic where Cartman knows I can use Butters, but I can't take it too far with Butters because Butters will come back and get me. So I think that is almost like an equal status there in Cartman's mind. Like, all right, he's okay, he's fine. He got me back. He's good. The rap continues here.
I was not the jury, so don't blame me, son. Zimmerman was wrong. No, that's so. Zimmerman was wrong. It's not Eric, so. Black or white, it's alright. Black or white, that's not right. White people say ho. Black people say hey.
He puts the mic in Kid Token's face when he says this. Just Token specifically walks right up to Token. Just pointing out Token and the little girl, the only two black students in the school now.
White people say ho, ho. Black people say hey, hey, hey.
And they're all
I think the white
responding
people are
back.
winning. White people got you beat, black people, you better
Take the
represent.
white people.
Let me hear you say, I don't blame the white people. No, no, no.
All right, that's enough. You think I should feel bad for you because of the Trayvon Martin verdict?
Token, calm down.
What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you all sitting here listening to this?
Oh, God, here it comes. Get down, everybody, get down now. Clear the streets. Everyone clear the streets. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
And so it begins the Cartman's craziness, his schizophrenia is now just gone over the rails, and he is lost it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh. All right, so he runs into the house with his mom.
We gotta go. Come on, come on.
And his mom's probably like, "What's wrong, sweetie? Everything's okay? What's going on, sweetiekins? I
I'm
made
glad-
you some muffins."
I'm glad that they marketed this a Brad Pitt survival gear. You know what I mean? Because that was all the big rage even then, and it can still be now. But there was a period where it was like, you got to get your zombie survival kit, man, because you don't know when the zombies are coming, bro. So
Well, you still, if you listen to any type of alt media, anything that's associated with Alex Jones, they're still shilling the buy the MREs, buy the life straws, get your bunkers and everything ready. So they're still shilling the survival the survival kits for a lot of these people that are probably in the backwoods. I don't know anyone that's bought any of this stuff except for probably some like backwoods people that like they're coming for us, Betty. They're gonna get us. We gotta have our survival kit ready. So just in case the apocalypse comes, we can be safe. Have 3 years of food and sustenance to live on if the shit hits the fan.
yeah, and then of course they've got their underground bunker that they've built in their backyard that they watched on YouTube after some guy did a 2-hour video.
Not everybody can be Ben Hameen and have a silo.
Right, that's true. Not everybody can be Ben Hameen.
No way he just said that.
So here is here's Cartman putting on the gear. I like that the mustache and the beard and all this, it comes included with this Brad Pitt survival kit.
The scarf puts it over the top for me.
That's true, the scarf.
Wait, was the gun in the survival kit? Is the gun a part of the survival kit? Because that's the only way that I think a kid could get a gun. I don't. Yep, the gun is.
The gun is a part of the survival kit.
So they're just selling survival kits with guns to kids.
Yeah. You know, it's
What state is this in? I don't know, this is Colorado in the South. That's more of a Southern thing where you go to these gun shows and you could just buy guns off the table without any permits or any background checks.
Colorado is definitely more left-leaning for sure. This would be a shock if this was shipped into Colorado.
The bracelets.
That's his hair.
Come on, we gotta move.
As I'm saying, now he walks out. He's got the beard on.
He's just walking around with the gun too, like,
He's
hey,
fucking-
got this gun.
We gotta move. We gotta move.
Spreading, let's go.
Does that little boy have a gun?
Inside.
Get inside.
Get inside.
Inside.
That's a good call out though. Like if a kid was walking down the street with a gun, I'm like, yo, get the fuck inside right now.
Get the
for real.
fuck inside. You know, why does that fourth grader have a gun?
Why does that miniature Brad Pitt have a gun? He stops Nellie's mom here.
Drive, you gotta drive now.
What's going on?
Get to an airport.
An airport? But
Lady, we've got about 10 minutes before this entire country is up in flames. If you want to live, you better step on the gas. Oh, wait, is this a Tesla? Shit! Well, step on the pissy pedal. We're gonna die.
Pussy pedal.
Even back then, I mean, this is what 2013. They were already beginning to dog on Tesla back then. That's funny. I mean, that's almost 11 years old. I didn't realize Tesla, had been around that long. I mean, I guess they have, but you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I didn't realize that they had been around that long either. I mean, it was probably maybe. Hang on, I will do some Google searching while you're pulling that up.
Yeah, while you're taking a look here. Yeah. So while you're looking that up here, we'll play the clip here.
2003.
Wow.
The first Roadster debuted in 2008, followed by the Model S, which was introduced in 2012. So that's probably the Model S that they're making fun of there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been out for a year as this came out in 2013. So that would make sense. You know, the craze of it's like during the early. It's like going. It harkens back to the hybrid episode. Come on, people now, gotta drive hybrids, people now, gotta be hybrids, people now. Come on, people now. So definitely South Park likes to take aim at these electric cars. Here's Cartman now running into the airport.
Now calling rows 10 through 30 for boarding.
The outbreak has started. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
An outbreak? Which one?
Get on the plane. Let's move. Let's go. Am I good?
My God, what's going on out there?
The outbreak's starting. Fly the plane now.
I like to just agree to this kid's terms. You know, they don't call air traffic control. They don't call their supervisor right away to confirm. They just take off. They believe Cartman. Like, all right, we got to take out. There's an outbreak apparently. I mean, we got to get out of here.
And so we should try that in real life, like run in somewhere and just be like, oh my god, it's happening, it's going on. Let's just get in the airplane and fly. They're gonna kill us all.
you know, if we were 10, 15 years younger in the age of social media, Colin, I'd say let's do it. We got our whole lives ahead of us. As adults now in our late 30s and 40s, I think there might be some ramifications that we might not want.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah,
you're
I think
a
a
kid,
10-year-old can probably get away with it.
yeah, or if you're that one kid who's got a bodyguard or something and he always pranks people on social media, I don't know what these people's names are. I just see them on my timeline. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if you're one of those people, you can do whatever you want. I guess, you know, I don't know. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. Well, I should say fortunately. I don't really want to walk into places and be like, oh my God. It's like, this always reminds me, though, this scene reminds me of that old Dane Cook joke. He's like, next time you just go to the airport and just find someone and be like, don't get on the flight.
Yeah.
I don't think I should get on this flight.
Well, isn't this akin to because can't you be arrested for yelling fire in a movie theater, like a crowded movie theater? Isn't this kind of like that where you're causing mass hysteria and mass panic where you could be arrested for something like that? So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think this is truly legal on his point. But again, who kills 2 or 3 planefuls of people in one day and gets away with it?
It's Cartman, that's for sure. So the plane takes off.
Maybe now you can tell us what the hell is going on?
He's like injecting himself with something.
So did he get Nellie's mom on the plane?
Yeah, she ran in with him.
Yeah, that so,
He's taking
what's
Nellie's
Nellie
mom.
gonna be doing?
I don't know.
Like, where's the continuance in this where they're like, where's my mom? Where'd my mom go?
She's like waiting for her to get picked up from school. That's funny. So I don't know if Cartman's injecting himself with apple juice because that gives him really bad farts, as we found out. But he's definitely injecting himself with something here.
It was probably in that Brad Pitt survival
We've got one
kit.
shot and one shot only, and that's to
Right.
find a place where the contagion can't reach us.
What contagion? My wife didn't get on the plane. Take this plane back to Denver.
You don't understand. There's no Denver left to go back to.
Everybody's just like, oh.
You know what, though? I do have this feeling that if you say something with enough conviction, people will believe you. Like, if you just have the stone-faced, very confidence of, like, there's no Denver to go back to, people are going to be like, oh, okay, maybe he's telling the truth because he is very confident about what is going on right now.
Right? Like, oh shit, this kid's got a gun. He's injected himself with needle. He got onto a plane, and he's telling us that the Denver's not able to go back to anymore.
And the beard is enough for them to not be like, yo, who's this kid? They're like, what's this a grown little person doing sitting here like telling us that there's nothing left? Like, what is going on?
So next scene here, air traffic control, as I mentioned. They're freaking out.
All right, what the hell is going on here?
We don't know anything. First it was talk of a hijacking, then reports of an outbreak of some kind.
Confirmed reports of panic in a rural town in the Colorado Rockies. Sir, the pilot of Flight 82 wants an update. They're asking permission to land. Stall them. I don't want that plane landing anywhere until we know what the hell we're dealing with.
And then
Sir, you better look at this. This was found in...
they find this manifesto that Cartman has made. And in it, there's a picture of Tolkien, and it says Patient
the
Zero.
airport lavatory. It seems to be a survival guide of some kind.
Survival of what?
From the looks of it, a contagion outbreak of the worst kind.
They're just ripping people apart.
It's just racist pictures that Cartman has drawn. That's funny. All right. As we talked about there, Cartman has taken the plane hostage. And now we'll get back to the plane where it's going to violently crash after somebody tries to, take back the plane.
Bacteria. Either way, we're all dead. Find out if he thinks it's safe to land in Los Angeles. What about Los Angeles? Can we take the plane to Los Angeles?
Not a chance. By now, most of the urban cities will be compromised. This whole thing spreads from city to city. We need to go somewhere the spread won't.
Okay, so he's got a map. The map of Africa just straight up says, no way. No way. He's got, Greenland there? Not sure. Probably safe in Ireland, France, England. Basically anywhere that's white people is what Cartman considers it safe to land, is what I'm getting, is what we're looking at here.
That's why he feels like Iceland is the best land.
Iceland is the best land.
Take hold
cold, like Iceland.
This plane won't make it to Iceland.
You got a better idea, asshole?
Everyone quiet! I have to think.
Yes, let him think.
Can't think here. I need a magazine and a toilet.
I'm
just finishing up.
Ah!
That's where all men do their best thinking.
Now Cartman, being extremely racist, thinks this black guy is somehow into it, who was just a passenger. So now he's gonna lock him in the laboratory.
One of them is in the back.
What?
What do you mean?
Everyone just calm down. We have to stay in control.
Now they're all scared like a horror movie as the door starts to move.
And see, now, in Cartman's defense, and these people's defense, I can totally see, like, if you're being told, oh my gosh, they're coming for us, oh my gosh, and then all of a sudden you're just seeing, like, oh God, they're gonna get us, oh God. The freak out could possibly happen because you just don't know.
So Cartman now, he's going to this guy is going to attempt to open the door because he's like, I don't want to I'm not going to die like this.
Become one of them!
So he's dead. As everybody hangs on for their dear life. The guy gets out of the bathroom here.
Shoot it!
Cause an explosion. Now, as the kids here are at school, in the background, we're going to see a plane crash. I like how Butters is doing jump rope, though. That's kind of funny.
But this is also the metaphor too, where it's like they all think that craziness is going on, but like literally everything is fine. They're playing with the little black girl in the back. There's nothing going on in this scene, where it's all just hysteria from Cartman, and everyone is in the plane at the air traffic control is just buying into the craziness.
Tolkien's just sitting there playing volleyball with Kenny.
Do you want your money back? Yes. Y-E-S spells yes.
Plane going down now. Okay, this is funny. All right, so we're back in Mackey's office. And Mackey's going to start having a conversation with Tolkien. Like, you really need to let this go, Tolkien, okay?
Maybe you should write a poem, okay?
Maybe you should write a poem, okay? Now, the only survivors of that plane crash were Cartman and Nellie's mom and the pilot, although he's pretty much fatally injured. Nellie's mom calls her husband, who says that even though the news says it is the end of the world, nothing is going on where he is. She passes this news to Cartman, giving him hope that the outbreak has not spread. The pilot asks Cartman to end the apocalypse, and then he dies.
Please go see my kids. I got 2 daughters.
And then later on at the Stotch residence, Butters is watching the news of all this going down, and he immediately recognizes a drawing of Patient Zero from Cartman's survival guide as Tolkien. They go back to Jimbo's guns. Cartman attempts to buy a gun. He's informed of the stand your ground law in Florida. Distraught that he can't kill Tolkien in South Park, he realizes he can abuse this law to kill the other Patient Zero, George Zimmerman.
This is where you also see when the pilot is dying, Cartman pretty much like tells the pilot what's going on. The pilot's like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
And then he dies.
And then he dies. Right. We have to kill all the black people. I mean, what? And then he dies.
Wait, what?
All right. So here's Mr. Mackey and Tolkien.
Now, Tolkien, what you need to understand, okay, is that a school assembly is not the time and the place to be yelling and causing distractions, okay? If there's somebody causing you problems and we don't disrupt the assembly, okay, you come and you talk to me.
He's just out looking for trouble.
Well, that's your side of it, Tolkien, but you know, Eric has his side as well. Have you thought about maybe writing him a poem?
Because poem sells everything here. Okay.
You're both about writing him a poem, okay?
Okay.
Okay, write Eric a poem, tell me how you feel. No? Okay. Well, I'm telling you, Tolkien, you let it go, and he'll let it go, and it'll all be fine. Okay?
It will be fine, okay?
All right, so now we're at the site of the crash scene. As I mentioned, Cartman, Nellie's mom, and the pilot are the only one that are going to survive this crash.
No, the plane somewhere. Matt! Matt!
What? I'm here.
My husband. He said the outbreak was all over the news, but everything was totally
You're
fine where
married?
he was.
Yeah, shock to me. There in the background, for those watching the video, if you're listening to audio, we'll describe it there. The pilot is just sitting there. It does look like he has no arms at this point. They look like
His arms are gone.
Yeah, it looks like his arms are gone.
Totally fine. Then it hasn't happened yet. Oh my god, we still have time.
Help! Help me! Please! I have 2 little girls in Chicago.
Just blood squirting out.
Please find them!
It's okay. We have reason to believe it hasn't spread yet.
Then you have to stop it.
Yes!
There must be a patient 0. The person it all starts from.
His name is Token.
We have to kill him before he infects everyone else!
I won't do it! He used to be my friend!
You have to! You have to be strong. If you can stop this, if you can save the world, then you have to do it.
These people don't even know what they're talking about. They're just telling him, yeah, go, you gotta kill him. You gotta take care of him.
You gotta kill him. Patient 0. That's how it works in all the movies.
That's it.
Kill the patient 0.
They've bought into this hook, line, and sinker.
Promise me.
And as you mentioned, Cartman's going to be racist here.
All right, I promise. I won't let the black people riots destroy the world.
Thank you. Wait, what?
Oh. Oh, man.
Wait, this is what this was all about? Oh.
That's a bad way to, like, that's your last thought before you die. Oh, this is racist? Oh.
Oh, this is some fuck shit. Oh.
Oh, poor airline pilot. All right, so here's Butters, as we mentioned. He's in his house watching the news.
Calls about a virus, and now a plane has apparently gone down in the Rocky Mountains. Is this the beginning of the end?
Oh boy, zombie apocalypse.
The government is looking for a patient 0, going only off of this sketch which was found in a notebook at the airport. Anyone with information regarding patient 0 is...
Yeah, now was he excited for a zombie apocalypse? Was that like a woohoo zombie apocalypse? Yay! You're muted, Maddie.
I think you're right. It was a zombie apoc. I think he was excited about it, right? Like, finally, all those phonies are gonna get it. And of course,
Is this a time now? Would Professor Chaos, would he arise in a time of a zombie apocalypse? Would this be something that he would be down for?
that's a good point. Like, is he thinking long term? If all these people are taken out, is this going to be the rise of chaos now? Is this the chaos era? Is it beginning? I also like how, I also like how, of course, I mean, these are older episodes. South Park has retconned it and made it so that Tolkien's name is spelled Tolkien. But of course, in the older episodes, it's still straight up spelled Token.
Yeah, and that was also like when he was first debuted. Like that was the joke is he was the token black guy, and I've been the token white guy in many of my friend circles and things like that. So like that, it's crazy that they would have to go back and retcon it like that. It's very funny.
No, I agree with you. Growing up in California, I was the token white guy as well. A lot of my friend groups, and even now, like if I look at my close best friends, Filipino, Indian, you know, I'm probably still the token white guy. So
you're the token white guy now.
Yeah, the Tolkien. Sorry, the Tolkien.
Immediately.
Holy moly.
So now, as we mentioned, Cartman goes to Jimbo's guns.
Can I help you?
Nellie's mom is still with him, by the way. And now that she's back in South Park, she doesn't leave Cartman's side. She doesn't go check on her family, her husband,
No, she's
her
still
daughter.
caught up in the hysteria.
She's still caught up in this following Cartman.
We have to stop the outbreak. I'm gonna see this through.
Right?
Get by the window. Tell me if anything changes. I need something that can shoot with complete accuracy from a distance.
All right, you want a rifle, like this .22 caliber. What is it you intend to shoot?
A person.
You mean a person who's
And as
threatening
long
you?
as Jimbo has known Cartman, this is crazy that he doesn't know that it's Cartman. He's
Right?
just like, yeah, whatever tiny adult that's coming in my shop to buy a gun, here. What do you need it for?
I mean, he's taken Cartman out on a hunting trip. He's the one that taught him how to shoot the gun back in the day. You know, why would you then, like, not take what he has to say seriously when he's saying he's trying to kill someone? But yeah, go ahead. Come on in. Buy this guy.
all of us.
Please hurry, it's important.
Well, you should be fine so long as the person breaks into your house and is an immediate threat to you.
What? How am I supposed to get a person to break into my house?
You can't shoot someone who threatens you just out on the street. Well, unless, of course, you're in a state that has a stand-your-ground law.
Stand my ground?
Please, we're running
Stand my ground? What's stand my ground?
out of time.
See, now with a stand-your-ground law, you can legally shoot somebody that's threatening you whether they're in your house or not.
Yes, that's what I need. I'll take that.
No. See, you gotta be in the state with the stand-your-ground law, like Florida.
North Carolina is a stand your ground law state.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
So is Georgia. Georgia is also a stand your ground state.
Okay.
It looks like New York and Pennsylvania as well, according to their map.
I like that. What is it? There's a sign that is it? What state is that? Is that Missouri? We don't take kindly to you your minority law here.
I think that's like Mississippi or Missouri, or maybe
Missouri.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but apparently they don't take kindly to them.
This is hopeless. How am I supposed to shoot Token with all these stupid ruse? Wait a minute. I can't shoot Token, but I can shoot anyone I want in Florida?
So long as they're threatening you.
What? What is it, please?
Oh,
Hurry,
go
my
back.
husband might still be
Can you go back? Because the map, we can see more of the map now. He's not necessarily covering it, but I don't think they didn't zoom in close enough to where you can really see what else is being said on that map. And I don't think there's any other parts of the episode where you could zoom in and see what's on that map.
Yeah, no, not too. We can go back a little bit and see what he says here. Close up. It says affirmative
Oh, there it
defense
is.
law in Arizona, or affirmative defense law in Colorado. There's apparently the Make My Day law.
Make my day.
Go ahead, make my day.
Make my day.
Make my day. All right, so here's Cartman now as he gets back on a plane again to go to Florida.
What's the closest airport in Florida?
This plane is going to Baltimore.
If we don't get to Florida, there's not going to be a Baltimore left.
Everyone just freaks out again. Let's
Black guy in the back.
Again,
Black guy
you
in the
say
back.
something with enough confidence. The black guy. And here it is going down.
Here they are crashing in Florida.
All right, now let's find Zimmerman.
Now once again,
Nellie's mom.
Nellie's mom and
Nellie's
Cartman.
mom and Cartman. The only two survivors.
They just keep avoiding death.
What seats are they sitting on? Because I need to know what seats on any of these planes. Are these Boeing planes? What planes are these? So I need to sit in the exact seat that Cartman and Nellie's mom sit in, so I never die in a plane crash.
Well, let's just doing some investigation here. If you look over at the nose of the plane, it says 737. So we got to imagine it is a Boeing 737, right?
By a Boeing.
So yeah.
Now South Park telling the future about Boeing airplanes just falling out of the sky like this?
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know. They're definitely telling the future about a lot of things here. I mean, I was gonna put out the short that I saw that I was thinking about making recently. I don't know if you've seen the clips where Donald Trump is just going, "You don't have to vote for me. You're not gonna have to vote." Blah blah blah. And all it could make me think of was Mr. Garrison going, "Please don't vote for me." I was just like, South Park once again predicting the future here. Don't vote for me. It's okay.
The future.
Yeah. So now they're running through Florida. Oh, here we go. Florida State. Welcome to the Sunshine State. Governor Rick Scott at the time. I don't even know if he's the governor anymore. Right? Who's the governor?
No, I think it's DeSantis.
It's DeSantis.
It's DeSantis.
Yeah. So they hijacked a truck.
Put this on. We have to stay hidden from here out.
What are we going to do?
Oh, I like this part. So Cartman, this woman, Nellie's mom, thanks him for everything he's done, and then she gets hit by a car.
I'm going to flush out patient 0, and you're going to shoot him. It's the only way.
What if he attacks us first?
Don't worry, nobody can
But
see
this
us
is the
wearing
normal
black.
trope
I
in
haven't
like
had the time
horror
to think.
movies and stuff like that they use a lot, where the person's standing in the road or standing somewhere they shouldn't be, and they're just like going on this monologue, and then all of a sudden it's and they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
I think it would have been a funny callback in this episode from the last season if they had done if they had just had a train pop out of somewhere and kill her, like they did in the Taylor Swift episode. Just the train comes out of nowhere and kills her too. So here she goes.
Thank you for doing what you've
And she's dead. Cartman.
It was a U-Haul that took her out too. That's crazy. Zimmerman.
And the Zimmerman family is exactly who Cartman parodied his family after in World War Zimmerman here, or World War Z from the Brad Pitt zombie apocalypse movie. Now, of course, Cartman's thinking here is, if I go to Florida, then the other patient zero is George Zimmerman, because George Zimmerman is the one that started all of this with his not guilty verdict in the Trayvon Martin case. Cartman is going to take it upon himself to, dress up as a black person. That way he can, get George Zimmerman in trouble for shooting a white person, not a black person here, apparently in the state of Florida. That's the trope here, is that you can't shoot white people. You can only shoot black people, apparently, in Florida, according to Cartman's philosophy.
Logic, yeah.
And apparently the cops that are going to support him when they show up here. They're like, we need you to do it again.
Eat your breakfast, girls.
Where's Daddy?
You can eat without your father in the room. Now hurry.
Daddy!
Good morning, girls. Save Daddy any pancakes? Look at that. 6 a.m. and my family's already smiling.
How did I get such a perfect husband, George Zimmerman?
And how did I get such a beautiful wife?
Of course, the same, scene that happened earlier.
I love you, Dad.
Love you too, Princess. I love both of you equally.
Nothing can ever go wrong so long as we all have each other.
Is there any hope for stopping the zombie apocalypse? CNN has just received word that the government has learned the identity of patient zero. The 9-year-old threat to humanity has been tracked down, and measures are being taken to stop him.
Daddy, what's a patient zero?
So these measurements that are be taken to stop him is they're going to try and hire George Zimmerman to kill the black kid.
Hello, Mr. Zimmerman. Your country needs you.
What do you need from me?
We need you to shoot a young African American for us.
I gave that up.
You're the best,
Special
Zimmerman.
Agent Zimmerman. You're the best, Zimmerman.
I gave that up. I gave that up. Like there's been more than one time. I gave that up. I'm not going to do that no more.
No, you can't get me to do it. I'm not going back. I promised my family I would never go back.
Right?
We just need you to do it one more time for the security of the world.
Damn it, I have a wife and kids now.
Then do it for your family.
All right, so Cartman, as we're watching on the video, he's going to start to sneak up in the background here. He's wearing all black.
I just noticed this. I didn't notice that he's popped up in the class like that the first time.
So he sneaks up and he's about to run up and pretend to, quote, attack George Zimmerman. And George Zimmerman is going to shoot him. And when they find out he's white, he goes to jail.
This is about protecting people, Zimmerman.
No, it's
but I
more
like
than
this.
just
He's
going
got
to
like.
jail.
That's true. He gets electrocuted. He gets the death penalty. We'll see that. But I like this part here because he's got like some sort of, instead of like a spider sense, he's got like another sense.
Keeping our streets safe so that our children are free to go out and smell the flowers.
Something's wrong. Look out!
They just shoot Cartman.
Poor Cartman.
Poor Cartman. Well, I'd say poor Cartman, but he did just kill thousands of people on planes. So, you know.
That is true, yeah.
Kind of karma here.
My God, I didn't even see him. Nice work, Zimmerman.
Are you guys okay?
What was that, Daddy?
More needless violence.
Nonsense. You did what you had to. You're a hero.
That may be true.
Well, he thinks he's a hero until...
But I'll have to live with this the rest of my life. Even though I'll be walking around a free man.
Hey, wait a minute. This kid isn't black, he's white.
Wait, what?
Guilty!
Oh, they electrocute the shit out of him.
They did.
For this.
They were like, we got him.
We got him. Guilty.
We got him. We found him guilty here. All right, so here is now another news report. Still talking about this, outbreak.
The zombie apocalypse is over.
It's apparently over.
All the panic, crashing planes, and chaos
killed
appear
patient
to
zero.
have for some reason,
true.
died with George Zimmerman. And as for the little boy who was so mercilessly gunned down, although he survived the shooting, his wishes are to remain anonymous, giving the hospital only the nickname Brad Pitt.
Fucking Cartman. Give me the hospital. My name's Brad Pitt.
But cooler.
But cooler.
That sure wasn't much of a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that sucked. Well, at least I'll bet Token's glad it's over with. Aren't you, Token?
So Token, he gets up and he leaves, and apparently, according to the rules of South Park, the stand ground law has now been maybe passed in South Park.
Well, I mean, in the state of Colorado, it was the Make My Day law.
It was the Make
I think
My Day
that
law,
is
you're right.
the Make My Day law.
You're
But
right.
then you gotta like how he's not even sitting with them. Like they're all
Right.
buddy sitting together, and Token's just still off to the side. He's not fully hanging out with the kids. He never really fully integrates himself in with everyone. He just does his own thing.
Right. All right. So here's Token. He walks outside into the street, sees Cartman.
Hey, Token.
Hey, Dagan.
Sup, bro? How's it going, dude? I know how it feels now.
I know how it feels now. No, you don't, Cartman. Not at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You made everyone think I'm a fucking patient zero.
Dude, I'm saying I'm sorry.
So what?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So he takes out a red
It's a
spray
spray
paint
paint
can
out.
so he can make his own ground.
Sound like you're still angry, Token.
Fuck you.
All right, Token, come on. This is ridiculous. I know you totally want to kick my ass right now. You'd like to walk right up and punch me in the face, but what's that going to solve? I've got a way better idea.
Fist bump, bro?
Fist bump, bro.
So Cartman sets up Token here for to get shot because he's going to give him a fist bump, but it's in his ground.
Fist bump?
Fist bump, yeah.
Come on, dude. Fist bump.
Bump that shit.
Come on,
Bump that
dude.
shit, bro. Be the bigger person.
He's got his hands behind his back. As soon as he steps in, fucking Cartman.
Which again, South Park telling the future. How many more of these videos have we seen on X? Like the most recent one was the guy got out the car, ran up on the person in the truck, and was just standing there just yelling at him. He had a gun in his hand, yes, but immediately the person just 2 shots right through the throat, and dude was down. We've seen a lot more of this stand your ground stuff take hold here in America with how tense people are in these situations. So again, South Park, it used to be Simpsons setting the tone. I'm sure the Simpsons still do, but I feel like Trey and Matt have just kind of taken over the whatever, they've tapped into whatever is moving us forward on this timeline. Maybe they're Kang from the future. They're out here pruning timelines.
Maybe they're drinking the same soda that Matt Groening is drinking, or apparently you can predict the future and know what's going to happen. Apparently,
The
I don't know.
adrenochrome.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but you know. So here's Cartman. Oh, hold on one second. I accidentally closed it out. Pull this back open.
He's totally in my ground.
All right, here we go. Pull this back up. Present, share screen. All right.
Yes.
And then he drags his body into the red line.
Into the red line. The little smile there at the end too, like I did it, guys. He's so
I
proud
did
of
it.
himself.
And now Cartman has a montage, another nightmare, daydream in class. I like how all of a sudden he's a fisherman. You know, he's out on the water. So of course Cartman's going to get in trouble, or this ongoing feud between Tolkien and Cartman, Mr. Mackey.
You gotta love that the kids are still mad at him, and
Oh yeah.
he's like, you're a murderer, and he's like, no, I got off, but it's like, no, you literally killed planes full of people. It's like you're a known murderer in the zeitgeist that is South Park.
And of course, for a few moments there until this scene, you actually think, oh crap, did Cartman actually kill Tolkien? Did they just kill off a main character? But no, Kyle, of course, was talking about all the murders with the plane. I wonder, did Cartman get off because he did kill Zimmerman? And everyone was kind of like, well, at least he got Zimmerman.
Well, he just killed Zimmerman. I guess it's okay.
You got Zimmerman, so everything's okay.
The Zimmerman defense.
Yep. Tolkien's response in this, though, is great. He shot me!
Oh my God, here we go again.
And this is how the episode ends, with Cartman once again hijacking a plane and crashing it here. And again.
Maybe replay that scene from the beginning.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it on this side of the podcast. We're going to come right back now on the other side with some trivia, pop culture, and some more information for you. Wrap this up. We'll be right back. Cool. Let me pull this up. If you need to, use the restroom or anything.
Good. I'm good.
All right.
I think Big Ray's blowing up my phone.
Oh, is he? Yeah, my buddy Dane is messaging me. 1 second, let me respond back. Dane Becker. He wants to know if I'm available.
You know how much Ray hates New York? There's a report that just came out that one of the governor's people was a Chinese spy. Hang on 1 second. My fiance is calling me for some weird reason.
You're good. Okay, get off at 10 on Thursday. I'll tell him that because he wants to hang out. I get off at 10 p.m. It's a beautiful day. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, after this, I need to go to the dispensary.
I don't know if she butt FaceTimed me or whatnot, because I just tried FaceTiming her back and she didn't answer. But yes, I wish there was a dispensary around me that I could go to, but all we have is Delta 8, Delta 9, THCA. It smells so great, and then you put it in your bowl and you smoke it. It just tastes like ass.
Yeah, when I went down to Florida a couple years ago for AEW for my birthday, I was at the hotel, and I was like, man, I gotta get some fucking weed. And one of the guys there, he's like, oh, you should try Delta 8 or 9 or whatever it was. You can get it at the smoke shop. And I was like, all right. So I go get it, and I come back. Bro, I smoked an 8 of that shit. And I was like, I am not high at all.
Yeah.
And then I was telling the guy who was staying in the hotel next to me, and apparently he worked for Best Western, and he was like, you need weed? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I got you. So he just goes and gets me weed. And I was like, thanks, bro. It's like, this is the best fucking hospitality service I've ever gotten.
That's always my joy of going. When I went to New York, of course, Ben hooked it up. Like me and Bella, we still spent some cash, but Ben hooked it up. So like I was good to go for at least like a month or two with everything that I had. And then every once in a while I'll make the trip to DC because DC's the closest place that actually has like a dispensary and stuff like that. Like in North Carolina, they have the Cherokee. I don't so the politics of North Carolina, we have the Indian reservations.
Right.
The Cherokee over on the western side of the state is where the gambling is, like Harrah's, Cherokee Casino. They're not busting them for selling weed or illegally smoking it on the reservations. And they were supposed to pass, well, they passed the gambling law now, like we can sports gamble here. And they were supposed to kind of work on the weed, like making it legal here, but they're going to do it medically. Like they're going to totally screw it up and do it medically. But I know a lobbyist, and I was having this conversation with this lobbyist, and I was just like, yeah, I guarantee you the Cherokee just went to each of the members in the Senate and the House in North Carolina, was like, here's $100,000, here's $100,000, here's $100,000, like you know what to do. And he kind of looked at me and he's like, how do you know? He's like, and it was way more than $100,000. And I'm like, bro, I've lived in this state long enough to know that we let the Indians have all the debaucherous stuff and just for reparations and paying them back for everything that they get with their reservations while we like get screwed. And the state is actually now trying to make an Indians that aren't recognized as Indians recognized Indians so that they can have gambling on this side of the state and allow them to have the gambling, because what's going to happen is they're opening up a Caesars in Virginia that is like really like literally across the border, and everybody's going to go to Virginia. Virginia's going to get all the tax money that North Carolina's would probably spend on the casinos. And it used to be that way when the lottery stuff happened. People would go down to South Carolina, buy their lottery tickets, and it's like, North Carolina, like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Like, just let them have what they want, and then you just still pass the casinos and the weed and all this other stuff and just reap the benefits from the tax income. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
I don't get it either. I definitely don't get that either. And I understand because like a couple things. One, like I lived in Arizona, so for years prior to everything being legal, same thing. The Native American reservation is out there, big reservation out there, and like you could not gamble or you couldn't do this and whatnot on one side, but then once you crossed over into the Indian reservation casino, they had like weed you could buy, and nobody ever enforced it. But I understand having to travel even up here, because like I mean it is legal up here in Connecticut, but in Connecticut they have a limit on the THC as the legal amount, so you can't buy wax here, unfortunately. Like if it's, yeah, so well this is where it gets weirder though, okay, because you technically can buy wax, so you can't buy wax if it's in freebase. So like I can't go into a dispensary here in Connecticut and say, can I get a gram of wax of blah 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 blah, and then they give it to me like in, you know, a little package or whatever that I can
Yeah, like you're like a dab container.
Yeah, so you can't buy that, but I can walk into the dispensary and get a 0.5 gram or a 1 gram vape cart. It doesn't make any sense. It's like,
well, yeah, I get that too, because that stuff is like watered down with stuff. But like, can you still manufacture it? Could you like go and get like an ounce of weed and then turn around and make your own like butane honey oil? Is that like illegal?
That's not illegal. You could do that in your own home as long as you don't sell it, because at that point, you know.
Yeah.
But what I end up doing, just like yourself, is I'll drive up to the border, Springfield, which is like 25 minutes away. So I just literally cross the border, go into the, like literally, I cross the border, the dispensary's right there. It's called INSA. I walk in, I buy my 1 gram of wax, and I get back in the car and drive 20 minutes home. Stupid.
Bro, it's crazy the things that you can get away with, because like on trains, like they transport stuff now via trains. Because there was a time where I was taking the train from Raleigh back to Charlotte, and the guy on my train, he sat down beside me and he smelled really great. And I was just like, oh man, I like that cologne that you got on. And he's like, oh, you smoke? And I was like, yeah. And we started talking about it, right? And then he was like, hey man, you got a jar? I got some moonshine I'll give you. Like he was code wording it to be like, if you got a jar, I'll give you this moonshine. But unfortunately, like I was getting my brother and sister-in-law were picking me up, and there was no way that I was gonna like get in their car with a jar of moonshine smelling as good as he did. And he was just carry on sitting right beside me on the train type of thing.
Yeah, that's
Alex
crazy.
here.
That is nuts. All right, let's get back into it, and we'll finish this up. This part won't take very long. It's just got some trivia, pop culture, and some storyline continuity to reference
I had to
here.
open a banana for my son.
Oh, that's nice. Was it a blue banana?
No, I wish it was though. I want to try a blue banana. Have you seen the blue Java ones? They say they taste like ice cream.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I want one. All right, let's come back now on the other side in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Suck my balls. Suck my balls. Suck my balls.
Welcome back now on the other side. Once again, shout out to our sponsors provided by Spreaker. You can start your own podcast as well, and they'll place ad inserts into your podcast. Check out Spreaker.com. Sign up today. Start your own podcast. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. We're so close to that first monetization tier, so we can take super chats and subscriptions and do more live content for you. So hit that like and subscribe button so that way we can continue to thrive. And if you're also here from the Hami Media Group, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button for Hami Media Group as well. Very close to getting the 1,000 subs for the advertising revenue monetization tier as well. So go ahead and check them out, Hami Media Group, on all platforms. But ladies and gentlemen, I personally am not the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. I am not a doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, polyphonics, or scooponomics. I am not a trivia god like Joe Vernola, but I will do my best. That's a true story, Colin. My co-host, Joe, went to the 25th anniversary Red Rock special when they had it, and he won the trivia contest. I was like, you're damn right you did. If you didn't fucking come back to this podcast with a W, you'd be off this podcast. But shout out to Joe.
There's going to be an X on the background over his picture.
Exactly.
Like he scribbled on Africa. Like, don't go here.
Don't go here. Here's some trivia. According to the official live tweets about this episode, it was originally supposed to be the season premiere. In one version of the episode, Tolkien was in a 9-month coma, and Cartman thought when he woke up, he would freak out about the Zimmerman verdict. And the injections Cartman, we're going to find out. The injections Cartman takes are a parody of World War Z, but the show went another direction, and the injections were never mentioned again, but were left in. The episode marks the first time someone actually calls Cartman a murderer, referencing his many killings. Of course, him being the person who killed his step-parents and fed it to his brother, half-brother. This episode marks the first, in the promo, Cartman is wearing his usual attire when he searches for his gun, but in the actual episode, he is dressed in his rapper attire. In the promo, the woman is voiced by Trey Parker, but in the actual episode, she is voiced by April Stewart, who took over for Wendy, and a myriad of other characters. As of this episode, Kyle is the only one of the 4 main boys who has actually never been shot. That's true. Stan and Kyle, Kenny, of course, have been shot prior to this. In Cartman's dream, he has a reenactment of the car scene from World War Z. He tunes the radio to 106.7, and the song sung by Cartman is playing It's a Wonderful Day by Canadian pop balladeer Michael Bublé. This was an anchorism since the station KBPI 106.7 out of Denver currently plays the alternative rock format. Of course, coincidentally, if you're from the West Coast, you all know that 106.7 is a very famous station called K-Rock in Los Angeles. And they, of course, are known for alternative rock format. That is where I first heard Sublime as a teenager growing up. In one of the previews for this episode, when Cartman is warning everybody to get out of town, the man asks, "Does that little boy have a gun?" However, in the actual episode, the woman asked this. In real life, George Zimmerman did not have children. In addition, he is divorced. The car Cartman commandeers is a Tesla Model S, so you called that out. There are no stand your ground laws in Colorado. However, when selling the gun to Cartman, Jimbo did mention the Make My Day law, where if a person breaks in and proves to be a threat, then the person is allowed to use deadly force, which is to say, shoot them. However, as a former Colorado resident, I can tell you this is not true. It does not exist in Colorado. Originally, Tolkien was going to be permanently killed off, but Matt and Trey liked him too much. That's interesting. Cartman showed remorse.
I read that when I was looking at the Wikipedia.
Yeah. Cartman showed remorse when the woman was hit by a car, which is unusual considering he had no problem causing plane crashes and shooting Tolkien. The model of the incident aircraft, as we mentioned, Boeing 737. And in the original area of the episode, Tolkien is heard exclaiming in pain when Cartman shoots him. However, as we saw in the episode, he was completely silent. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your trivia.
Well, let's going back to them shooting and getting rid of Tolkien, right? There would be no black characters on South Park because Chef's gone, Tolkien's gone, so they have to keep or at least they would have had to have introduced a new black character
Well,
into the show
they
because
they
then
technically
it would have
did.
just been totally
They,
all white people.
they actually technically did about a season ago when the new girl shows up in town. She's a girl. So she's in the episode. If you notice when he's doing the rapping thing, he says, "Black people say hey."
Oh, the cheerleader?
Yeah, the cheerleader.
Yeah.
That's technically Tolkien's girlfriend. So they technically did introduce.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that was his sister.
No, yeah, that's his girlfriend. She moved from another town and she joins the show. And Cartman then, puts them together because all blacks go together. That was his words.
It's so racist.
Yeah, I know. It's super. He put the black people together. He put the Mexican students together with Cupid, me, and him. Yeah, super racist. That's your trivia, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time for some pop culture. This episode is a parody of the 2013 film World War Z. Several elements from the film seen in the episode include Cartman as Brad Pitt's character, Cartman's dream of his wife and daughters, the scene where the family has pancakes, the black protesters scaling the building is a parody of the zombies, as you pointed out, the plane crashing into the Rocky Mountains and splitting in half, leaving Cartman and Ellie as the only survivors is a parody similar scene from the movie. Patient Zero is mentioned as the virus. Cartman injecting himself while on the plane references how Jerry protected himself from the zombies, and Cartman arriving on a boat and waving to his family is a reference to Jerry arriving in Nova Scotia to be reunited with his family at the conclusion of that movie. A couple more things here. The way the Tesla driver dies is the same way Terry Shaney dies in Final Destination, by talking to the main character and then getting hit by a vehicle mid-sentence. As you mentioned, a trope used in those type of movies. The fatal shooting of Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman is referenced, especially in the media, that claims that there would be a widespread riots by African Americans if Zimmerman was found not guilty. And by the end of the episode, Cartman was wearing exactly the same outfit that Trayvon Martin wore when he was killed as Cartman was shot, but he survived. Butters is shown to be happy and somewhat excited when everyone thinks there's a zombie apocalypse. This is a reference to doomsday enthusiasts who find living through an apocalypse fun. You actually pointed this out right out the bat. Mr. Garrison confuses the 2012 movie adaptation of Les Miserables with the real French Revolution, as the plot of the story took place during the June Rebellion of 1835. And when Cartman tells the lady to step on the gas, he says, "Wait, is this the Tesla? Shit, stop. Step on the prissy pedal." This is a reference to how the Model S, like all Tesla, is an electric car. And that is your pop culture.
They could easily go back and retcon this episode and put Derek Chauvin as Zimmerman and George Floyd as the Trayvon Martin character and just redo this whole episode.
You're right. It's interesting that South Park never really touched that one, but you're right. It was kind of probably because they had already done it in the past, so maybe like repeating itself as far as the storyline is concerned. All right, and finally, here is some storyline continuities, and if you've never listened to the episode, mainly what we're doing is how this episode referenced previous stories or episodes. This is the first appearance of Ned since the episode A Cause for Applause. Tolkien and Nicole, which is the other black girl I was talking about, are shown at this smiling at the assembly. This indicates that they are still in a relationship, which is confirmed in The Hobbit. The Hoffman and Turk attorney, who first appeared in Reverse Cowgirl, appears as Zimmerman's lawyer in the quick court scene where the judge immediately shouts, "Guilty?" This is the first appearance, wow, this is a long time. This is the first appearance of Jimbo's Guns, the actual store, since season 1 in the episode Mecha Streisand. That's a long time. In the season 7 episode Christian Rockhard, Cartman says that he will kill Tolkien one day, and he attempts to in this episode. And finally, Tolkien will be shot again in the pandemic special. That, of course, is not the COVID pandemic special. That is the gerbils the hamsters pandemic special. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your storyline continuity, your pop culture, your trivia. And we always like to wrap up the show. Colin, tell me, Mr. Colin Wysong, what did you like or dislike about this episode?
Well, I want to add that for any avid D&D players out there, you have your chaotic goods, your lawful evils, your chaotic evils. Cartman is probably the definition of what a lawful evil character should be, as someone who will play nice to your face, but in the background he has his own, and all of his decisions are going to finally like equal up to whatever his plan is, and he is just probably one of the greatest characters that has ever been written in television and cartoon or anything like that. I think probably the part that popped me the most, and it was when he took over the Tesla, and, and he was like, step on the gas. He's like, oh wait, this is a Tesla, step on the pussy pedal. It's just, now everyone drives a Tesla now, and when they came out with the trucks, that people are just making fun of the trucks and how shitty the trucks are, even though Elon said they were supposed to be so great. That's probably one of the parts that made me laugh the most, and it's just so unexpected that he gets in the car. It reminds me of the Family Guy episode where Stewie and Brian go off and they go and do all this stuff, and then at the end they're like, "How are we going to get back home?" And Stewie just pulls a gun out of nowhere and hijacks. Fuck out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Like you just didn't see it coming.
He's just Grand Theft Auto.
The unexpectedness.
No, I agree with you as well. In regards to, top episodes too, I enjoy this episode. I know to this day, still haven't seen World War Zimmerman. I have this problem, Colin, and I've mentioned this prior on the podcast. If South Park makes fun of the movie and I have not seen the movie, there is a large chance that I will not see that movie because I've already I've
only seen it once.
Right, I already feel like I've gotten everything out of it because if South Park makes fun of it, they're generally making fun of it for a reason. And therefore, if they find it to be stupid and, not logical or a dumb movie, more than likely, I'm going to feel that same way too. Except for the one exception, that being Inception. That movie, Inception. I did watch that movie, yeah.
I have some fun fact and trivia. So my fiance, she lived a pretty sheltered life. Her favorite movie is the Apocalypse movie that they made fun of a long time ago, where the world freezes over because of the climate change. I can't remember the name of the movie, but that's like her favorite movie, and I've never seen it because just like you, I saw the South Park episode, and I'm like, I don't need to see it. I kind of already know kind of what happens in the movie, and they end up surviving and everything, and it's yeah.
No, I agree.
Don't see World War Z. It was terrible.
It was terrible. All right, well that's good.
It was terrible. I would have to say close second for favorite part of this is just Butters doing the beatboxing in the background. When Courtney's rapping out his poem, that right there is a close second in this episode. Butters just always somehow finds a way to pop me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for another edition of SMB, a South Park review. Coming up next week, it's the return of the Goth Kids. Goth Kids 3, Dawn of the Posers. In this episode, we find out what happens when all the Goth Kids are being turned into emo kids. What happens when the Goth Kids have to infiltrate the emo camp and they have to summon Edgar Allan Poe and work with the Vamp Kids? It's coming up next week on another edition of SMB, a South Park review.